guys, welcome back to Crafts Go Bloom. My name is Krista, and in this video I'm going to break down how much I made at each of my crochet markets for my first year of selling at markets. For starters, I followed the advice of Cameron over at Cameron's Cute Creations, and I made a good goal, a better goal, and a best goal, and I would say that that's great advice. She has some videos on this you should go check out. We plan to go to 9 markets this year, and we did. So I set a goal of $1,000 per market as our best goal, and then I kind of worked back from there. So I set a $500 price point for our good goal, a $750 price point for our better goal, and a $1,000 price point for our best goal per market, and then multiplied that times our 9 markets and came up with these numbers. At our first market, it was a 2-day event. The first night was open for about 4 hours, and then the second day got rained out. For the time that it was open, it was a really great market, but we only made $400. I would go back to that market in the future because I think we would make more if we didn't get rained out the second day. It was a really great crowd and great people who put on that event. At our second market, we didn't have quite the same positive experience, and we actually lost $16. We didn't even make our booth fee back. There were less than 20 people who showed up at that event, so we won't be going back to that one. At our third event, we made $600, and I want to say we were open for about 7 hours, so I was pleased with that. We hit about our $100 an hour goal. We have a goal of making about $100 per hour that we are open on average at the end of the market, and so we hit that $600 in about 7 hours, and I was happy with that. Put on by a great group of people. We might go back to that one again in the future, not sure. Really just depends on how the scheduling works out for us this year. Our fourth event was in a small town, and we were not expecting a huge turnout. We thought it would just be kind of fun. It was tied to like a 5K and a fundraiser sort of thing, and we just wanted to go and support that organization that we really agreed with. But that turned out to be our best hourly rate, where we made almost $200 an hour. We loved everyone that we were working with, got lucky and had amazing weather, and definitely plan to go back to that one this year. And we made $1,400 after being open for about 7 hours that day. At our fifth event, we made our largest dollar amount, which was $2,200. We were very excited about that dollar amount. However, it was a 3-day market, and by day 3, we were exhausted. It was run by a great group of people. The weather wasn't too bad. We were outside, but we couldn't really leave things out overnight, so we had to tear down and set up each day. Friday night, we were open from like 5 to 9 plus the teardown time. Then Saturday, I think we were open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It was like a 12-hour day plus setup and teardown, and then getting there again on Sunday morning and staying, I think, until like noon or so, plus the teardown time. So whatever the math would work out there, we were open for like 22 hours and made $2,200. So that all evened out, and that worked out great for us, but just a 3-day event wasn't very fun on our family. By the end of the weekend, we were all exhausted and ready to just hang out at home. We also kind of got lucky at that event, and I sold some larger items that are really just my like attention getters that sit out at the end of the table. They're over $100 or around $100, not expecting them to sell every time. So I would be curious if we were to go back to that one in the future. I'm not sure that we would get the exact same result. I think that we might have lucked out in having a lot of those large purchases come in to really drive up that per hour price to actually make it worth our time. At our sixth event, we had another somewhat negative experience. There just were not the number of customers that we thought were going to be there. So we ended up only profiting about $60 after being there for 2 full days in an unair conditioned building on a very hot day. It's not an event that we'll be attending next year. For our 7th event, we went to a local community center, and we ended up profiting $250. And I think the fee was maybe $20. So we didn't have like a huge barrier to entry, and it was only a 1-day event. We definitely didn't hit that $100 per hour rate, but we had a larger crowd coming by for the small size town that we were in. There was also a neighboring town that's a little bit larger who had a very large event that exact same day, and that really took some of the crowd away. So that would factor into whether or not we were going to go to that one in the future, but I think we're going to skip that one and see if we can find something else and kind of hone in our skills on finding our target audience. Our 8th show was in the same town, so craft shows 6, 7, and 8 were all in the same town, and we had sort of different experiences every time. For the most part, though, we just came to the conclusion that our target audience is not in that area, or if they are, they're just not coming to these events, and that's okay. For that 8th show, we ended up profiting $60 after being there for, I want to say, like 6 hours that day, plus the setup and teardown time, or maybe we were there for like 4 hours, somewhere in there. And again, we had a great experience with the people who were putting on the show and things like that, but I don't think that we will be going back to that one in the future. For our 9th show, we ended up making a little over $400 profit, and we were only open for 4 hours, so we made a little bit over that $100 an hour average that we're looking for. I don't think that we'll be going back to this one in the future just because it's only 4 hours long. So to have the 2-hour setup and the 2-hour tear down and spending just as much time setting up and tearing down as we are actually staying open just makes it a little less fun at the end of the day. So we would rather set up and maybe be there for 6 to 8 hours and then tear down. And then all the effort that goes into setting up and tearing down just feels a little bit more worth it. But we had a great time at that show, and for all the other aspects, we would consider it again. So the grand total that we ended up making at craft shows for the year was a little over $5,000, 5,000 and a couple hundred. I'll do the exact math and stick the number on the screen here. So we did not hit our better goal or our best goal. And partway through the fall, when we started to have these really like negative shows, one of them literally being in the negative, I redid some math. And I said, well, what if we technically say we only did 7 shows because 2 of them were just barely even worth counting and we were kind of frustrated at the end of them. So if I redo the exact same goals, multiplying $500, $750, and $1,000 times 7, I come up with these goals. And then we really were at our better goal. I think we were just a little bit above it, actually. So we're going to take all the information that has come in over this past year's markets and apply it to the coming year's markets. And that's going to help us decide, do we want to go back to this show? Well, what about a new show that we want to try? Is that looking like it's going to be a good one? Do we think our target audience is there? How long are they open? What kind of traffic does it get? All of those things. So at the end of our first year of markets, I would say they were absolutely worth it. I'm still pleased with the profit that it brought in at the end of the year, and I think we have learned a lot, and we're really going to be able to hone in where we go this year. So I'm really excited to take you guys along and show you the different markets that we have coming up, and maybe keep a running tally of those goals that we've got for this year, and then see how many of those goals we can achieve by the end of 2024. I hope this also gave you a realistic look that not every market means that you're going to be taking home thousands of dollars, but also not every market is going to turn out to be a dud. And it's really just about crafting those skills on where you go to your markets and how to find the right ones for you and your customers. If you check out my channel, I have dozens of no-sew crochet tutorials on there, more market vlogs, and I love to go over everything that I've crocheted in a particular month and just chat patterns and all things crochet. I hope you had fun hanging out in this video. Make sure you subscribe so you can see those upcoming markets this year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!